Test, test, test. Muted, muted. Okay, okay. I see you guys popping in hard. Okay, my bad, my bad, my bad. Okay, it was just 30 seconds, guys. We're okay. We're okay. Can you hear it? All right. I like that somebody said super quiet when it's absolutely zero sound at all, right? Let me quickly double check. Again, guys, so today, what is happening, long story short, is I've also got some special guests coming in a little bit later to give you guys some analysis on the crypto markets. And this will probably be a recurring thing to basically get more of what is going on behind the scenes that you guys don't see, to get it more to you. I decided, hey, you know what? More live streams, get one of my analysts in here, get them to explain exactly what the thought process is, and hopefully over the next few days, probably also do some more live trading, actually, which some people may find interesting. We'll see, though. We'll see as it goes. Right now, I wanted to cover some of the news going on. You guys have already been pinging right there. ETF, Dusty is safe to finally run that 500x long on BTC. Things are interesting, I told y'all, right? It's a good space that we're in right now. And particularly, as I've said for a while right now, Solana is in the craziest spots. I want to quickly see if I can flip my camera. Just want to quickly see if I can do that. And then I will start with whatever content we have. Is there a button to flip my camera? That's just what I really want to, a mirror. Here we go. I think all it does is mirror my own camera. It's still going to be mirrored regardless. You know what? Whatever. Screw it. So, you guys are saying, so let me quickly type in this ETF thing that I actually wanted to show first. Okay, so now let's quickly see if this works. Oh, okay, there's an easy way to show you all my screen. Okay, I figured it out. Again, using new software, using new stuff, it's going to be a bit different today, but I think it's going to be nice. So, first of all of y'all have been screaming about an ETF, right? We'll talk about it. But first of all, one day can change your whole life, but only if you do not quit. Keep going. Millions are waiting for you. I want to sometimes start off by giving you guys a little motivational boost. This might sound really cliche. It's not news, it's not nothing, but in reality, when it comes to all this crypto stuff, for the most part, the number one highest return on whatever is just continuing, just keeping it up, and just realizing that the market odds are basically stacked not against you, but for you. Like everything as of this point is so easy. All you gotta do is just stick to it, stay consistent. And let me grab this ETF news in the background here, because everybody is blabbering this out right now. So if you're wondering what exactly the situation is on this, here we go. 𝗓𝗔 XRP ETF is set to launch today. Fidelity's Solana, Canary's XRP, and Hedera's ETF are now listed on the DTCC platform. Everybody's talking about this. How big a deal is it? Well, theoretically speaking, it's the first ever XRP ETF that is coming available. So from that angle, it is actually quite a big deal. You guys are saying delayed. I know that the Dogecoin ETF got delayed by a week or so. Let's quickly see if this actually also got delayed. It says right here, for all the newbies and inexperienced traders who claim 𝗓𝗔 XRP ETF is not spot, wake up. Please excuse my Vietnamese, as it listed right here as a spot XRP ETF. I'm not 100% sure why people are not more excited about this whole situation. Maybe it's because 𝗓𝗔 is not that well known. I mean, Good Morning Crypto posted this. First spot XRP ETF goes live today. He posted this yesterday, so tomorrow. The 𝗓𝗔 spot ETF is indeed set to launch on September 12th, 2025, marking a significant milestone as the first ever spot XRP ETF in the US. The US SEC completed its 75-day review period without objections, allowing the fund to move forward under the Investment Company Act of 1940. This ETF, which directly holds XRP tokens rather than futures contracts, aims to provide retail and institutional investors with regulated exposure to XRP through traditional brokerages accounts, simplifying access without the need for crypto wallets or exchanges. I think it's a pretty big deal, all right? Let's quickly see. Honestly, you guys are awesome, but I don't know why you keep posting this crap that isn't true. This is not a traditional spot ETF where the fund holds the underlying asset. At minimum, all you have to do is Google it. So let's see. He got an AI overview here. It says it's a structured project that provides exposure to XRP through 40 Act funds. Rather than directly holding crypto, unlike the spot ETF, which invests directly in the underlying asset, a 40 Act fund offers regulated exposure without holding the cryptocurrency directly, a crucial distinction in the context of crypto ETFs. To me, it's not fully true. From the perspective that I don't really think it matters that much as people like to cover. Mostly from the angle that if people have this desire to hold it, does it really matter in what way, shape, or form it's done? Because we do not know how they're collateralizing it in the background anyway. So I don't really know if it matters that much. Because at the end of the day, even if it's contracts, they're still basically purchasing that XRP, right? The excitement still for it is there. But regardless, I'm seeing some mixed reports right here. But most people now are starting to, let's look it up for ourselves. XRP, so, Okay, let's take a look. It says the fund will invest in and hold XRP. That points to spot exposure. But it also says the fund may also invest in derivatives, principally futures contracts and swaps, that introduces future-based exposure. It even allows allocation to other crypto ETFs, spot or futures, US or non-US. So the fund is structured as a spot-anchored, so basically holding ETF, with the ability to use derivatives for additional exposure, hedging, or liquidity. It's not strictly spot like a Bitcoin spot ETF, and it's not strictly a futures ETF either. It's a mixed mandate fund that can directly hold XRP and derivatives tied to XRP. Okay. Regardless, bullish from whatever angle you take a look at this from, right? From whatever angle. This is quite exciting. Grok said the first XRP ETF is live. Perhaps it already went live just now. It's very much plausible. Or perhaps they're talking about different countries. Then again, it's the start, right? DTCC lists Fidelity Solana ETF and Canary's XRP ETF. And we posted also, XRP ETF is set to launch today, marking a major milestone for Ripple and mainstream access. Expect high volatility as flows begin. Well, the volatility today for XRP has actually not been too crazy. I mean, when I take a look at the overarching crypto market, I would have to say we've been seeing some really, really nice moves. Particularly today, Solana had its massive breakout. Ethereum had its nice little breakout above the range. Bitcoin had a nice breakout above the range. XRP also, but it pulled back all the way. I mean, back right now to about $3 too. By the way, just quickly, if y'all are watching, where are y'all watching from? Right now, I got to find a new way to get the chat like popped out. It says show comments on stage. I think if I press this, can I now click a comment or how does this work? Oh, there we go. So there's now a way for me to actually show y'all's comments. That is pretty cool. Okay, so I'm going to be doing it like that sometimes, like below here. I didn't know that was a thing. That's nice. That is a very cool method. I was going to say, where are you guys all watching from today? We have in the chat all these different people, but who's watching from where? Dylan says, I can hear you. I turn my sound up. Can hear you. Everybody's good. Everybody's in the chat. Let's see what we got today. XRP family. We got Nick coming in with New York City. Oh, now I can do it like this. This is going to be fun. All right, so we got ourselves. Oh, can you guys see it at the bottom too, or is it not showcasing? Maybe it's only me. Can you guys see the chat in the bottom right? Okay, it's a bit of a delay because I'm asking, but I don't know if you guys are, if you all are seeing that. Mrs. XP says, yeah, we can see, but it's small. But that's good enough. It's good enough. All right. Anyway, so yeah, we can see what countries we got. We got today, we got New York City, we got California, we got England, UK, we got Wisconsin, Youngstown, National City of San Diego, Denver, Colorado, Philippines, LA, Cali. What else do we got? Virginia, Ronald, as you can see, land of the not-so-free UK, and at the rooftop pool in New York City. Josh, I'm not sure why you're at a rooftop pool watching this today. News is not that important, brother. Enjoy the rooftop pool. I didn't know New York had pools at rooftops, but whatever. That's pretty cool. We got Edinburgh, we got London, Canada, and Crete. All right, so we got some good spots over there. Anyway, with regards to all the news, what else we got? Let me quickly guide you guys through. So, one of the most interesting videos of today came from Mike Novogratz, and I'm going to quickly see. Again, new, right? I have to test if you guys can even hear this. Can y'all hear? Can y'all hear that when I play that out loud? I presume so. But again, for everything, there's a first, and so I got to quickly test this out, see if y'all can, before I start playing the entire thing, you guys are saying no. 𝗫𝘀'𝘀𝗀𝗧 says, no, you can't hear. All right, so I'm going to have to figure out a way to get that done. We'll quickly see, edit the name. No. Share screen. No. Okay. So that part I have yet to figure out, which I may do in a little bit. I may figure out next stream then. How to let you guys listen to sound. Yeah, because there ain't no easy way for me to find that out right now. Yeah, no, that ain't happening. All right, I'm looking everywhere. I don't see no button for that. I just see stop sharing. This one? No. Okay. Okay, so skip that one for no, it's just full screen layout. No. Okay, so skip that for right now. We'll skip the sound things, but there's a lot of stuff anyway. I was gonna say that right now the last 24 hours have been quite interesting when it comes to Solana news, ETF news, DAT news, which are all these treasuries and the ETFs. All of these, I think, are stacking on top of one another right now, building up a massively bullish case for altcoins. And particularly because of how the prices have been going, it's just starting to like stack exponentially on top of one another. And like I said, in a little bit, we're also going to get our analyst in here talking about all the crypto prices, if you guys are excited for it. By the way, I'm seeing we have 3 likes pressed. If you're watching the stream right now, make sure you press that like button. You've got nothing to lose. I'm not going to do anything to you if you're not pressing that like button, but still, guys, make sure you press that like button right now if you haven't done it yet. I think we are at like 3, at least for me, it says 3 likes. I'm not sure how many we are actually at. That's what it says for me. I'm going to look up the stream on my phone. 𝗫𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀 says to see 40 likes. Anyway, if you got, for me, it says an exact amount of 3 right there in front of me. Oh, and I'm doing a different sort of sharing now. I don't think it's actually sharing my screen. Oh, interesting. I have to really fully integrate. Oh, okay. I'm finding out a lot of interesting things that I can do here that I wasn't able to do before. Anyway, I was going to say, when it comes to altcoins as it currently stands, we are waiting for the grand breakout, for the moment where altcoins just go absolutely insane and they break our freaking backs. And I don't know why I said it like that. Break our backs sounds a bit suspicious, of course. I meant when all of a sudden, once the market breaks through this, it's mostly going to be carnage. At least the way I see it is, if we take a look at the past few months, altcoins have slowly but surely been building up, which is nice. But have we really seen an altcoin season? Has there ever been, ever since like January, right? Or October of January of last year. So let's say October previously, 2024, January of this year. Ever since that period, I've been fine. I've been happy, but there's been no days where I'm like, oh my God, look at this. And particularly the last few weeks here have been extremely boring. I mean, we're waiting for breakouts on almost every single one of these coins. We're waiting for it. I mean, Solana throughout the past couple of weeks has been slowly but surely up. But, I mean, it's really not where I cannot take my eyes off. There was one move for Ethereum, but most of these coins are still within their range. You know, we're not breaking above the all-time high. It's just interesting to view. But even if you take a look at Bitcoin, it's still, even though it's a new higher high, right? It's still, theoretically speaking, just moving downwards. So the excitement right now is not really there in the market from the angle that we're not breaking the previous heights. We are breaking local heights, and we are, in my opinion, switching over from being mostly bearish to mostly bullish. But it's really only really fun, the whole crypto market, once you get to the to the goofy stage, where all of a sudden the crypto market just goes nuts and every single thing you click on, every single thing you watch just pops off. And there is going to be a time for that, where all of a sudden every single day you log into your crypto accounts, it just goes absolutely crazy. There will be a time when that happens, and it probably won't be too long from now. It won't be too long from now that every single time you take a look, let me quickly see what this is. By the way, let me see if I can switch this around through here. No, it's impossible for me to do that. I thought, oh yeah, I can. Oh no, it's the wrong way. Mirror. Here we go. Let's see. Can I mirror my camera my own way? No, I cannot. All right, we tried. The reason I said so is because I always have my own camera mirrored. So for me, it looks really, really weird to look at myself now the opposite way. You know what I mean? It's strange to see myself that way. It's odd. But regardless, we'll make it work. We'll make it work. Even though I'm completely confused. You know, I can't point to the... If I have to point to the right, I have to point to the left. Strange to me. Regardless. So, a lot of people have been asking, so at which prices then do we buy? When do we get excited? Are we excited right now? Well, let me tell you this, my friend. I'm always excited about the market, and I still think there's many freaking opportunities. I mean, as I stated before, all we theoretically speaking have had to do the last couple of weeks is follow along with all these companies that are announcing massive purchases, for example, for AVAX, for example, for Dogecoin, and just lock in and follow along, follow that money. At the back end, we've got the institutions buying in massively, right? We've got the regulatory side going pretty freaking massive. Everything's been going good. And that brings me to the point of, really, if you're not buying at these levels, what are you waiting for? Oh, you're waiting for a pullback. Well, again, our analysts will come in just a second to give some thoughts on that, on whether or not we should be waiting for a pullback or whether or not we should be top blasting. Because from almost any field, I'm thinking it makes sense here to up the numbers a little bit and go crazier and crazier on the leverage. Not financial advice, obviously. But, I mean, we are even not getting ourselves all the ETFs we wanted. Dogecoin has been delayed a little bit by, I think, a few days. This was, I think, the last announcement of yesterday where it got delayed by 1 day. And I believe right now the Dogecoin ETF got delayed by yet another day. But they're coming. They're happening, and in my opinion, it's just a matter of time before we get to the freaking top of the top just now. And realize this. If you, throughout the past couple of months, just locked yourself in a freaking room, just bought these freaking coins, even if you just bought Solana, which some people think is a top cap, so you can't make a lot of money on it. Here, there's, for example, Sol Big Brain, very well known in the community for buying Sol at the freaking bottom, right? I don't know what Sol went to anymore, like $10 or something like that, a few years ago, like 2 years ago. He bought the freaking dip like a maniac. 2 years ago, he was fully bidding the Solana bottom at $17, for example. And you can see all the thousands of Sol he bought back then. At the time, people called this dumb. Matter of fact, everywhere on YouTube, people said Solana is dead. It will never recover. And now, looking back at it, oh, were those buys juicy. But I'll tell you one more thing. Most likely you'll have the same thing again by buying Sol at these levels, where soon enough you look back and think, oh boy, how cheap that was. If it's commitment, though, specifically to buy when a dip like this happens, but in any angle, man, I'm telling you right now, it can be extremely, in my opinion, hard to commit to something for this long a time. It's been a few years. Then again, 2 years for making 20x gains. Okay, not 20x, but you get the idea. Like, let's call it 15x gains. I think it's a pretty good deal, and I keep saying I still think we'll do some numbers along those lines still in the near future. Anyway, I also wanted to say, I've always told y'all that this institutional wave will not come to an end anytime soon, but I think it's going to be the end of the season, meaning that the altcoin season, the whole crypto market here will enter into a bear market because of massive institutions and perhaps them holding too much or them going too crazy on the borrowing where things are going to wreck us. I still stand by that. Right now, I'm seeing too many of these DATs, too many of these treasuries who are buying in like masses. Here, $1.65 billion that was bought here. I think it's just absolutely crazy that they're going for, by the way. This is for Solana, and I told y'all this for a while, that if you see this announcement, just buy. It's basically my opinion on the matter. And by the way, if you're wondering how the bots are doing, my 250 Sol bot here is doing pretty well. We're up roughly 20 Sol on that. I've been adding to it piece by piece, right? You can see right here, we've been doing pretty well on that. Every single one of the bots, really, when I start breaking it down, has been doing pretty well. The stats, the 10K to a million challenge, I got to compound it probably somewhere later today because we're from 10K to 42, and we're doing pretty well on the profit, so I got to compound that. The main bot stack, it's just a few bots, like 5 of them. We put $160,000 in. It's up 142,000, doing pretty good. The coin bot stack, which is a ton of different bots I've got. No, that's the coin margin ones. We put 260,000 in. We're only up 20,000, but they're very new. And the coin bot, like this one, the DustyBC bots, $126,000 into all these random ass altcoin bots, and we're up 60K. It shows you that the main coins, for the most part, have actually been the best, and that does showcase. ETH, ADA, XRP have actually been, funnily enough, some of the better bots, even though they're at the top coins, and that solidifies our theory, at least my theory, of saying sometimes it helps to just go the top-down approach, meaning you primarily have your funds in the top coins, maybe an XRP, maybe an ETH, maybe a Sol, maybe a Link. And then as the market gets better and more exponential, you go to lower and lower coins because risk-reward, still all these top-tier coins that are already billions of dollars worth still make sense to buy more of, which is, again, my opinion. Anyway, guys, one more time, I'm going to ask y'all, where are y'all watching from? And Would you guys be interested in getting my analyst in here to get some thoughts on the analysis of the coins, like what is happening in the charts? Are any of you guys interested in charts whatsoever? Or are you guys mostly just news people? Let me quickly see what you guys think. Because I've got it ready. But it depends a bit on what y'all say. We got Southwest Florida. We got KY, Canada, Italy, Ulster. Is that your name or is that the place? Pennsylvania. All right. Boys, I'm adding him. Let's see. Let's see if this works out. Test, test, test.
Test, test, test. Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly. Can you guys hear him? And let's see if you guys go. We got Dubai, we got Yorkshire, we got Wisconsin, we got you guys think chart. Depends if the chart analysis is good or bad.
I like that one. That's a fair assessment. It's only one way to find out, guys.
Yeah, they're saying testing 1 2 3 1 2 3. All right, can I share your screen?
Yes.
All right, let's go. Let's add it. There we go. Add to stage. All right, let me quickly see. I can see everything.
You can see everything clear at this point?
Yeah, for me, it's very clear. Let's see what the people say.
All right, just get the double confirmation.
Loud and clear. Mrs. XP says yes. Kansas City. Testing 1 2 3 Colorado.
All right, so we are all set. So first off, I want to focus on the OG BTC USD. Just for notice, I'm taking the Binance chart here for no particular reason. It's just the chart I've always been using. I've been doing analysis now for quite some time, lots of years, 8+ years. Before this, I did Forex. Now I'm in crypto. I've been posting also, Dusty has been posting me on his Twitter. So you can find all the updates
one sec,
there
by the way.
as well.
I think my camera is overheating again. So if you're wondering why mine is black, I didn't leave you. I just got to quickly see how I can cool it down. So anyway, go on. Sorry.
All right, no worries there. So you guys can find everything back, but I just want to zoom out first. So we really started to notice the end of the cycle of around the last month of 24. We saw that we made this massive pullback. I do a combination of Elliott waves and some other juicy techniques that I will explain later in later moments when I will be coming back. So how it works with Elliott wave structure has 5 waves, so we can count 1, 2. Wave number 3 is always the most impulsive because, as you can see, sometimes you have these crazy moves where you say it just doesn't stop at any resistance zones. It just keeps going. That's exactly wave 3. So this is how I saw wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5. Wave 5 is the all-time high. After a cycle of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we always have a pullback, and that is the boring, rangy structure we are in right now. So, technically speaking, after the cycle, you have an ABC correction. It can be different as well, but in this case, I think it's quite clear it can be ABC. So, just to zoom in right now, where are we? So, technically speaking, the correction can already be finished in this instance because here we have A, we have B, then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's very subjective, guys. I know. I know what you guys are thinking, but I just want to zoom in on price action right now. I don't want to get into the details of how it works. Just want to give you a global overview. And later on, we can definitely explain in more details how this Elliott wave and structure actually works. So the reason why I have a level here at 113K, which says level required to break to consider bullish takeover, you might ask yourself, okay, did you just draw a line and say this is the point where we're going to go bullish? There's some reason behind it. So let me just hide all my indicators. So what has been going on? We have been making these lows and more lows and more lows and more lows and more lows. And now here we started creeping back up. Usually when the first sign of a bullish or a bearish pullback comes, in this case, of course, it's bullish, is when this structure gets broken. So where is the last high or low? It should be this one. You have the low, the correction, and you make another low over here. So what is the top level of this structure here? It should be around here. And that is exactly the level I designated, because here structure gets basically broken. And if structure gets broken in this corrective wave we have right here, right now, then we can come to the conclusion that the bulls are in fact taking over. So that is the reason why I draw this line over here. But to get really into it, Bitcoin has been quite strong. This is the 200 EMA right now. Let me just draw the local resistance as well. It just completely disregarded it. We had a minor pullback, but no major pullback into like any near support levels whatsoever, which means there is indeed great bullish pressure. The green zone you're seeing right here is actually the range that we have been forming from the 26th of August, if I'm correct. Yes. And it's just ranging. Like Dusty said before, it has been a boring couple of weeks. And now it's actually showing us the first signs that Bitcoin is ready to go. What I said in my analysis on Twitter, DustyBC Twitter, is if we break this zone with confidence, which we kind of did, including this resistance zone over here, plus the 200 EMA, which is the green line you see over here, then we are fairly confident that there will indeed be this bullish takeover towards the all-time high. So what is going on? We broke this resistance. We kind of broke to the 200 EMA as well. We went up and then we reacted to this resistance zone over here. And we're pulling back, which is in fact completely normal if you think about it, because price can't just keep pumping. We need corrections. So right now, I would say the nearest support where price logically can pull back into is just over here. So my expectations for the coming hours/days, even depends if price is going to be choppy, rangy, or is making decisive decisions, is that we are most likely going to pull back towards nearest support. And now here comes the interesting part. Because let me just take my juicy circle over here. Is because we have the breakthrough now. We have the bullish breakthrough, and what we're looking for at this point, if we want to go bullish, is that price is going to pull back. The EMA is going to fill in over here. We're also in this local support zone, which isn't amazing, but can still help us pull back. The ideal way of buying Bitcoin right now is we wait for this pullback. This level here, the 200 EMA, it was a resistance. Now, hopefully, it will work as a support level where we can hopefully bounce back from to the upside. That is the idea. However, I know some of you are going to say, well, you know what? I want to buy from here, and I'm not going to see what price action do. I'm going to just put my limit order and ride the wave over here to the all-time high and beyond. What I would personally suggest you, if you want that little bit extra confirmation, is you wait what price action is going to do here. At the end of the day, we've had a lot of manipulation in the crypto market. So this breakout could, in fact, also be a fake out of the end of the day. It's really, you got to see the characteristics of price. So what we want to do, we want to see price go in here, perhaps range a little bit, and then we want to see this massive boost upwards. Where I would suggest where you could buy or start buying or consider buying is if we break this level here again. So price again, we pull back into this nearest support. We're going to range a little bit. And then when price officially breaks this old high, then it's most safe to start buying because you have a confirmation that we really bounced from here. Instead of just putting your limit order and say, I don't know what's going to happen. I want to get that 2 or 3 extra percent gains, but I'm going to have a lot more risk. So that is the outlook for the coming days. I don't assume in the coming hours we're going to see spectacular moves, but always be cautious. So
I'm gonna pause you for a second right there. So one thing I want to quickly in the middle make clear. Let me just quickly gonna move you for a second. First of all, guys, if you've not done it yet, make sure you go ahead and press that like button. Because here today we're trying something else. I'm just trying something new, seeing if you guys like it. Because at the end of the day, why not? We have a lot of trades we do on a daily basis, and I realized there's no real negative side in sharing it, but it also kind of depends on what you guys would like to see. So if you've not pressed the like button yet, make sure you do so. If you're looking for a platform to trade on, I've always got the links down below. Like the ones I'm doing all my bots on is like the first few. There's also some nice bonuses and a competition only for today. But also there's like a nice free position you can get over on 𝗬𝗂𝗓. Link is down below. But let me say it like this. If you have a specific coin you're watching out for, that you would like to see, that you have in the back of your head, you'd like to get covered, like a specific coin you're trading. Maybe it's XRP. Maybe it's freaking, I don't know, Doge. Maybe it's Solana. If you have a specific coin, just let us know in the chat right there. Just let us know, because at the end of the day, it might be worthy of covering, especially if a lot of people would like it. Because I see now 2 people also said, like Mrs. XRP here says, I want to see XRP. And then we have the jogging tree also say XRP. So we know XRP, a lot of people would like to see it. If there's another coin you'd like to see, just make sure you put it in there. Make sure you press that like button, and we'll definitely get it covered, depending on the day, depending on what's hot. Because I think it depends on which coin is doing what, right? Or do you usually do coin analysis on a lot of different coins? I'm not sure how you usually go about it. You?
Well, I mostly focus on Bitcoin, XRP, and Ethereum. I'm also going to include Solana for you guys because I see that's very popular among you guys. On a personal level, I don't really trade Solana. I'm more of an XRP fan as well, to be very frank with you. So yeah, that is that. But like you said, I see a lot of XRP. So I hope everything is clear for Bitcoin. If not, please send your questions in the chat so I can go over them if you are very curious. So yeah, time for XRP. So let's grab it right there. The favorite pair.
Everybody, make sure you press the like button if you haven't done it yet. You've got nothing to lose. It doesn't cost you anything. All right, sorry.
Just remove the circle. So we're actually in a quite similar position. I'm just going to briefly zoom out here again. I don't want to go, again, too detailed on Elliott waves and stuff. Maybe for some of you that's not interesting, but I just want to show where we are right now on a more higher time frame. So we've had this massive movement in around July 24. How I see this is all just one big movement, one big correction. And like I said, guys, this wave number 3 is always the most powerful. It's a very if you have an eye for it, you're going to see it in the market many times. This crazy impulsive movement where no resistance zone on the left or whatever can stop it. It just keeps pumping this enormous impulsive power. That is exactly what happened here in November. We just kept going up. And to me, that's very characteristics for a wave 3. So I put wave 3 over here. I would say we have a minor correction, wave 4, wave 5. And this is a subwave. A subwave is a wave within a wave. But again, I don't want to go into details. Then this is a bigger wave 3, wave 4. And now here comes the juicy part. According to my analysis, we have not finished wave 5. Because if we zoom in right here, this is where I have designated the final resting place of wave 5 at around $4.60. So I want to get to it, guys. Right now, what we've seen, wave 4, correction, up, down. This enormous price action again. You're gonna see it if you're gonna focus on it. But again, I just wanna tell you guys some basic stuff. We'll get over it. Wave 3, massive impulse, and then this choppy, boring, ranging price action, what we see here. And now we're starting to see some movement. Again, we've been covering this for a long time on the DustyBC Twitter. On the Discord as well, you can see everything back, but I think Dusty is gonna come back to that later.
Yeah, I'll
So
quickly tell them. So, if you're wondering, by the way, what he's all about, over in Discord, there's like a full history, and the same for Twitter, same for I'm gonna say those two are the main spots where you can look back at the previous post. So, for example, if you see analysis of today over on X, I can quickly pull it up right here. But if you want to look at the analysis of today, if you go to it, you can keep clicking back to previous times where the analysis was covered. So if I quickly scroll back to yesterday's post, for example, which I'm doing on the side here, let me quickly grab it for you. Here we go. If you look at this, right, and you, for example, want some XRP analysis, you can keep clicking back on what was posted the previous day to see if you think it's quite accurate or not, right, or if you like it or not. And you can do the same for ETH. You can do the same for BTC. Those are the ones who've been covered almost every single day. I think every single day consistently for at least a little bit. So you can just keep scrolling through, see if this is something you resonate with or not. And also, you can kind of track whatever he's saying right now today and look back at it from that. I just wanted to quickly mention that. Quickly remove myself. Continue on, sir. Just wanted to get that clear to people. And make sure you press that like button if you're watching still, everybody.
yes, thank you very much for that. So yeah, the global level, we've handled that. So now we're gonna zoom in on this juicy price action we have been seeing over here. So all in all, technically speaking, it's very possible that this is indeed wave 4. So wave 4 is like the final correction. The impulsive waves, so the bullish waves, are always wave 1, 3, and 5. So the uneven numbers are the bullish ones. And the even numbers, so 2 and 4, are always the corrections. That's why I noted here this is the ending of wave 4 because it's it's the pullback, it's the even number. And wave 5 is another impulse. So again, our mighty target is waiting for us over here on $4.60. But what is happening over here? So we have this movement again. And here again, you see this one that you have recognized from Bitcoin as well, the level required to break to consider bullish takeover. So it's the same reason why I put it here. Let's just take everything away. I'll just do this very briefly. You have the structural breaks here, structural break there, structural break over here. And then there's no more structural breaks. So the last structural breaks of this bearish correction over here, it's like one big range, if you guys can see. Boring, choppy price action. I know I didn't like it as well, but it is what it is in the market sometimes. And then to break this structure officially, we will have to break this level over here. And if we go back and take everything, there we go, you can see that this is where I put the level required to break to consider the bullish takeover. So when it comes to Bitcoin, just to recap, we have already punctured through that level. But XRP is actually not far behind, which is very good indeed. However, we have to be cautious. We have some really, really strong movement from XRP as well. On a personal level, I think it's much more strong than Bitcoin and Ethereum, but I'll explain you guys later. Because right here, if you can see, it's just breaking through every local resistance zone on the left here also. It's just making small bearish candles right here, nothing special. And if you compare it to this boring range where we go down, it's not the same. It's really the switch from the bears to the bulls. But we're still waiting for our official level, just to have extra confirmation. Because from a technical analysis point of view, it's always key that we are trading. And you're probably thinking, what is this guy saying? We're all trading. What I mean with trading, you have trading and gambling. When the risks are not in your favor, same thing when you go to a casino. when the risks are not in your favor, uh, that is not trading, that is gambling. So we want to stack as much confluences and confirmations as possible to say, okay, I have a 60% chance of winning this trade. Well, see it, then you are the casino. You know? And when you are the casino, it doesn't matter how many trades you take, at the end of the day, you're still going to be profitable. So that is what we're trying to do here with this level required to break. It's just going to give us this extra confluence to really, uh, well, stack that positive factors for us to really trade like a casino. But enough yapping about that. So here again, we have this resistance zone. Um, Nothing much of a big reaction at this point. So also the 200 EMA over here, punctured, no big bearish reaction, and we are pulling through. If you look on the left, there is not a lot of resistance left before we reach this level. Just this enormous pin bar over here, which we could react to, and we could potentially have some local pullbacks over here, which is still nothing very interesting. If structure holds, I simply expect price to keep creeping upwards towards our designated level. But again, it's very essential to see how price reacts in the coming hours and days to these local zones. Is it just a brief candle inside and a very big impulsive move upwards again? That's a very good sign. Even when we break this level, we still want to observe what is price doing. Are we going to see just one enormous pin bar up and then an enormous bearish candle down? Well, then yes, technically we have broken the structure, but it gives us the characteristics of a fake out. So it's all about zooming in on that price action. So all in all, once we break this level, yeah, and we're going to see it perhaps rise a little bit further.
And
It's
so
the
can you
same
say
thing.
what exactly the level is here? So for all the people that are not watching too closely, or maybe they can't see on their
Yes,
screens.
that's a good one. The level that we're trying to break in a confident manner is level $3.10, 12 cents actually. Excuse me. That is the level that we're trying to break through. Once we do that, we should expect a solid pullback towards this level, and then we're going to see, hey, you know, is this going to be working as a support, or are we simply going to push back through inside and we're going to see more bearish pressure? That is the question. And that is why we wait here, zoom in over here what price is going to do in the future. And then where I would suggest you to buy, what I would do on a personal level is I would wait for that extra confirmation. I would wait, okay, we're going to go sideways over here. Then we're going to break. And then I would put a limit order above the previous high that we made. And then we can see that really bullish movement upwards towards our final level over here. And $4.62, it has been calculated with the help of 𝗕𝗓𝗓. I'm not going to get into that, but this is a very real target. So all I'm asking from you guys is to be patient and watch price action very closely.
So
So I
somebody
hope,
has a one question. He
yes.
says, "So is $4.60 the peak for XRP this cycle, or are we going to ABC correct and go higher?" So my opinion is it's not the peak of the cycle; can be the peak of this specific move. But what do you think? Because for me personally, XRP, I think it could easily do probably even $10-15 this season. But maybe following
Mhm.
your analysis, you come to a different conclusion.
Well, when I come to for this season, it's like a bit hard to say if this season we would go to 15, but for this particular movement, when it comes to like the wave structure, let me just zoom out over here. Let me say it like this: we can reach this certainly, no problem. It's not going to be the final of this season, but we're just going to reach this, and then from here on, we can expect this like uh, broader correction. So we could get into there. We could go range a little bit, and then have that broader correction. Can be like a very long correction, or it can be shorter, and then we can see another wave up. It all depends on the pressure. We see a lot of institutions joining in on all crypto right now, so there is a big form of momentum. Um, so right now, I would say, can we go higher this cycle? Definitely, but uh, right now, the first target, so I would say TP1 or take profit number one, would most definitely be $4.62. Another thing to take note, let me just remove that, is that we are still very high above the 200 EMA. So it's very possible that we're not going to make this crazy pullback. Oh, but it can be certainly sure that we're going to see movement more like this, that boring ranging characteristics, and then waiting until the 200 EMA creeps up more closer to price before we're going to see that movement. But price action like this can technically take weeks, so a lot of patience is required. But again, if we reach $4.62, I think a lot of you, including myself, can be very, very pleased. So, are there any more questions, Dusty?
I think that's also. Wait. They say my microphone is too low. Can you guys confirm if I'm talking right now? Is this microphone too low? I can put whatever volume y'all want. It's just I'm not so sure what the levels are. Again, it's a new thing we're trying right now, but I can definitely put it higher. Whatever.
Is it regarding your microphone or my microphone?
Yeah, just mine. That's what they're saying. So I'm just quickly double checking. Somebody else says XRP whales and devs have started dumping. That's really funny when you say that, because theoretically speaking, almost any coin out there that has a foundation consistently sells. And there's a few of them, like the Hyperliquid or Pump Fund right now, or maybe I guess Athena and whatnot, that are mostly on the buying side, but it's really a small amount. Even Solana, you can really start breaking that on Ethereum. Every single one of them, the foundation sells. Why? Because they're funding operations. And at the end of the day, it's really quite a difficult question as to whether or not it's better or worse for an entity to do it. In my own opinion, I'm not so sure what is better. Like a company, for example, and I'm just I'm just venting here, but I'm not 100% sure if you prefer a company to only spend their cash on buying back the token, or actually perhaps even sell it to get more fundamentals for the token. Let's say, for example, we had to set up an ETF. Let's say it costs money from the foundation. Let's say, hypothetically. Would it not be better if they fund that by maybe perhaps selling the token, because over time it adds a lot of more value to it? It's just my thoughts on the matter. But hey, everybody has a different opinion on it. Which coins? I'm just seeing here real quick. Which coin? Okay, so we have for XRP. Can you give us the thesis one more time for XRP? Just a quick little rundown for all the people that skipped it. You're mostly thinking perhaps shorter term, because I'm just looking at your chart, right? Just to kind of summarize what people think that are coming in right now. You think perhaps short term, slight pullback before bigger break. I know the bigger target for you, XRP, is $4.60, something along those lines. But on the shorter term, what are you thinking? And again, everybody knows, grain of salt, not financial advice, but what are you thinking right now?
I'm thinking right now on a lower medium time frame, and I already have the 4 hour, is that we're still gonna see a minor correction into this local support zone. Why? We have been quite overextended right now. We're still resting in this entire zone. We've broken through the 200 EMA. So what I ideally want to see is that perhaps price can still go up a little bit, but I want to see a real range movement before we're going to pull back into here, range a little bit, rest on the 200 EMA that would have crept in, and then I want to see confidently break this level. That would be the ideal scenario. So again, once we break this level, it doesn't have to mean that we're going to go automatically bullish, because technically speaking, we can also have some price action that it goes like this, and then a big pin bar, and well, basically you have a fake out, and there you go. So the idea is that we're going to be patient. We want to see price creep up there confidently, perhaps have a somewhat bullish movement. Then ideally what happens here, we're going to range a little bit, pull back into this, and hopefully this level will now, instead of be as resistance, is going to act as support. And why am I not buying over here straight away? It's because I want to get that extra confluence. I want to have that extra confirmation is that we're not going to linger over here and then perhaps, price get dumps enormously and then you're sitting over here with your buy position, or over here. That's not what we want. So what we do want is that we're going to see what price action is going to do. Here, personally, this is my personal advice, what I would do. I'm going to put a limit order over here, wait for price to reach there, boom, I get initiated, and then we're going to see the movement continue upwards. That is the ideal situation. It is, again, a reminder for the people who were there and people who are new, again, in the chat, welcome. This is how XRP most likely would play out, and this is how you can, get in there in a really trading in a more professional manner, where you're stacking confluences and etc. Yes, please.
There's two things. One person's asking how low the pullback after hitting 462. So Tony is asking.
How low? Well, we can actually calculate that from a theory point of view. I'm just going.
It still to me feels crazy though. 460. It's not that far away. It's like a 50% move, but just the idea of actually crossing that $4 barrier for XRP just kind of feels surreal to some extent.
I completely agree to you. But if we look here in 6 November, which isn't that long ago, we went from 47 cents to 3+ XRP. That is crazy.
I think
so
like 340,
to go from
like $3.
Yeah, I think it's like 3. Yeah, it depends on the chart, but on my chart, like the all-time high is like 366. That's crazy.
Yeah, but that was now. The 340 was like I think 1 month or so from 50 cents to 340 back in October to January, let's say.
Yeah,
those are two separate moves, I guess, right?
Well,
that
technically
one, like
speaking, yeah.
That
was already a big move. Then with the ranging, but let's say like the place where we are resting right now. But to go then from $3 to $4.60, it's not that crazy if you just zoom out and put it in a relative manner, because to go from 48 to where we are right now, and then from where we are right now to $4.60, it isn't that crazy to think about it. But
I mean, I must admit, I'm pulling you away for a second. I mean, I must say also, I'm also putting my money where my mouth is when I said before that I'm quite excited about this hold it back right now. I'm looking at my XRP long, for example. I added a bit more to my long. Right now, this XP long is 150,000 XRP, so about $450,000. And I've been adding to it today because I just felt like I don't have enough. I always have this thing of not having enough coins. And that's besides the bots, besides everything I've been adding as well. Like the Soul bot, I also added another, I think 150 Soul or something to it today. And today it just went to 241. I'm just watching it with my eyes open thinking I should have had more. But specifically XRP here, man, you can see my 2 buys here that I've placed it at. They've not been perfect, but I have this FOMO feeling. And I see now in the chat, Dave says pullback. I think he means pullback, but he keeps saying bullback. Bullback level changes. It's a target box, not a nil number. I don't want to interrupt you no more. You give your thoughts on what's happening after XRP reaches 460, right? Supposedly, hopefully. What do you think?
So, well, I would say that the minimum we would go is somewhere around this area right here. So this is like a minimum. So best case scenario, of course, we only pull back to $3.60. Perhaps we can. The thing is, this is like the minimum target, $4.60 for this cycle. But perhaps we can go higher, and then like the pullback would also be positioned like relatively speaking higher. So then it would be $4.10 instead of the minimum of $3.60. So all in all, to keep in mind, technically speaking, if we reach $4.60, 62, and we pull back from exactly that level, I cannot predict that, but around that level, let's say, then technically speaking, we can pull back to $3.61, which is quite the move if you look at it, but still, it's nothing on the bigger scale, because that's ultimately what the market is. It's cycles. So don't worry about that. I hope that answers your question. Anyone else? Anything else?
Yeah, somebody PR Raman. By the way, y'all, let's see here. So we changed the chat by quite a bit because I think a little bit of time has passed. Where's everybody watching from right now? I saw some some people fighting in the comment section. Martijn, 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗑, he's going at it. That's pretty funny. But I am wondering where everybody's watching from right now. And by the way, if you did not press that like button yet, make sure you do that. PR is asking, what's the first retest level? I'm not so sure if he means like on the shorter term or longer term. And Dave says, no crystal ball or Hopian. Thanks have been solid. I think he's talking about you being solid right now. I think he's excited about you. I think that's what he means.
Thank you very much.
But let's see. So what is the first retest level? What is that? First retest level. That's his question.
First retest. Could you elaborate a little bit more?
Yeah.
More than happy to.
I'm not sure. The Real said before, I'm definitely going to TP once it hits $4, but I'm going to leave a small amount as my moon bag. Yeah. So what do you think about, for example, TP, a first TP at $4 instead of 460? Because you're saying 460 is your main target right now, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And that's for, again, this wave. We understand not necessarily the entire thing. What are you thinking of perhaps selling a good stash before it gets to 460? Because if everybody's watching that level, would you actually end at 460, maybe slightly below, for, let's say, 50-something? Or are you mostly just, these are the targets, so we're following the targets? Or are you thinking, okay, 460 is where we end it, basically should have sold the majority of our coins for this wave, then try to buy back cheaper? Or is it more like a spectrum, like a zone? Or is it more like a specific 1 point?
Yeah, that's actually a very good question. So, on a personal level, I would say that is it wise to take partial profit? Absolutely, because at the end of the day, it's a game of probabilities. I can have a probability, let's say it's 65% accurate, which is still more than 50, so you're going to be profitable at the end of the day. But there's still this 35% chance that things go south. So taking partial profits around this level, don't be shy or feel stupid, and you're gonna see price go up like 6% more, and you're gonna say, "Oh, I should have held. Why did I sell 25% of my position?" At the end of the day, it can go higher, it can go more lower, but you want to secure some of your juicy profits, because I think everyone in their trading career, whether it's crypto or something different, all experienced that feeling where you say, no, I want to hold my position longer, I want to get more profit, I don't want to take my profits, and then just price just dumps and your break even or your stop loss hits, etc. So I would say what I would do in this personal scenario is take a fixed percentage of my position as profits, just to secure something. And at the end, when we have that correction again, you can just open your position again, which is absolutely fine. You're just securing some profits, because at the end of the day, that's why we do it for, not just for the love of the game, of course, but also to accumulate some extra money here and there, and to really secure it instead of just seeing that big number on your screen is also key, in my humble opinion.
Seeing that big number on the screen. I see, by the way, that my trade has just gone back to entry even just now throughout the last few hours here. I'm not even sure what the news was or why we had such a pretty interesting pullback here from 307, because I thought that around 307 is where the majority of the shorts would get wrecked, but I guess it might be slightly above the level that we hit. Then a quick little bounce off of 301. So my trade actually got into a loss for a little bit. Right now we're back up about 1,000 XRP or something like that. What do you think about this situation then? This little sweep of sorts. How much are we down? Let's see. We're down roughly. It's only 2%, I guess, intraday, right? It's not too crazy. 2% down in a day. It feels like maybe because the market's not been doing anything for a while. Like we're almost. It's been so quiet for Bitcoin, right? So maybe all of a sudden now that we're making a little bit of a move. By the way, look at this. What? Mix is up 35%. Meme coin up 20%. Pump fund 12%. Sheesh. And Dogecoin. You see, Doge is the one I come. Ah! Oh! I've been screaming that Dogecoin should be like one of my main positions, Doge and Solana. But Doge is up 6.5% here again. No, I needed more Doge. No. Oh. And what's happening? Did you do some analysis for Ethereum already or not yet? Just now. Not yet, right?
Say again, sorry.
Did you already check out Ethereum just now as well?
I have Ethereum at the ready.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see what you think of ETH.
All right, guys.
Let me quickly ask as well. Is anybody here in the chat today? Do you hold any Ethereum? Like anybody? I know majority of y'all probably hold XRP, maybe some other alts. I saw somebody say Ondo, HBAR. I see Radix. Radix I've not seen in a while. Flare. Let's see. Proppy. Anybody here holding ETH? We've talked for a while that ETH was one of the easiest coins to trade, like at least a few weeks ago. But I wonder right now. Sound says, I caught Doge because of you, brother. That's good. Virtual says he holds ETH. Dave says move down the curve now. Now small. Not exactly sure, but yeah, you're in screen. Give us your thoughts on ETH when you're ready. Let's see.
All right. So by now, I think you guys get the riddle of the. Let me just remove these lines to make it more visibly pleasing of the Elliott wave. I think when it comes to the Elliott theory, I think that's just an old one. It's quite clear actually. So we've started here all the way on the bottom in April. We saw that first move up, and again this characteristics of a wave 3. This is exactly what I'm talking about. When it comes to Bitcoin, when it comes to XRP, all the exact same. You see this massive, almost like vertical rocket that goes up. That is usually wave 3. Then we have this classic range, boring price action, and then this sudden fake out. That is what I mean, why we have to be careful. That is exactly, let's actually take this as an example to show what I meant with XRP, to get that extra confirmation. So let's actually invert it. I hope it doesn't, scares you guys a little bit off. So here now the red candles, so you get it. And let's just take our brush very fast. So let's say this is the breakthrough level, for the bullish scenario that we've been talking about. You see price over here. You see it going up. You see it going down. And that is exactly what I was talking about also with XRP and Bitcoin. This is the place. Okay, we're now retesting this level. It's now support. I'm going to buy and I'm going to expect it to just explode. Well, here's what happened with this fake out on Ethereum. And that is exactly why I say wait for the double confirmation. Just put a limit order there, because price never came up here. And that would have saved you a lot of money. So that just as a side quest to show why extra confirmation is always important. So here we have the correction number 2. Again, the enormous impulsive characteristics of this entire wave. And there is the finish of wave 3, wave 4, upwards, wave 5. And this is where we are right now. I think it's actually safe to say that this entire range over here, price action is actually all a range, but just to make it clean, I'm going to split it up where we are right now, and that is exactly here. All of this is just range, pure, boring, useless range where nobody gets enthusiastic from. So where are we right now? This support and this range is where we're fighting right now. We fought this support resistance zones quite some time. However, it seems like we broke through, so we can remove this and this circle. Actually, let's keep the circle here, because this green line over here within the green box, not the ideal colors now actually, but I hope you guys can understand that this line is the 200 EMA. We've touched it, had a small correction, and we just punctured through. So you see that the cryptos are quite strong right now. So that is a good sign, including Ethereum. When it comes to the official confirmation where you say, okay, structure is broken, technically speaking, we have already actually broken it, because it's this level over here. And right now, we're also waiting for the same thing. I don't want to see one bearish candle as a pullback. That's not what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is like a minimum of 3. Price continues like this, continues, goes sideways a little bit, pulls back here, ranges. We put our limit order. We wait for price to creep up, and then we can just ride it and continue it upwards. When it comes to final target for Ethereum, just to be very frank, it's a bit more fake, because when it comes to Ethereum, we have already finished wave 5. So the minimum target where I would like take partial profits is simply the all-time high. I would take partials and wait, what is price going to do? I'm just going to zoom in and see, okay, are we going to go ranging? Is there still a lot of impetuous movement, like this bullish continuation where we're going to see? And then we're just going to simply reassess. At the end of the day, we want to keep things not too complicated. Just to observe price, what is it doing? Put a nice stop loss where you think, okay, well, that is a level that I can accept, where I still have profits, etc. So right now, however, with Ethereum, we're still inside this box, this entire range. And even though we have broken this buy level over here, the orange horizontal line, um, what I really don't like is that technically we're still in this range. So we can just do a fake out and that's it, So with Ethereum, for me, it's a bit more tricky in that regard, because if you can see, and this is what I mean, this range just goes up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. It doesn't make any decisive move. So uh, ideally, even if you really want that extra confirmation, and I know it's not that far from the all-time high, ultimately and ideally you want to see this confidently broken. That is just like the extra confluence with extra confluence,
What is
like
that box for other people that are not zooming in
yeah,
to
actually
see?
that would be like the nearest resistance zones, because this is like an untapped zone which is quite strong,
I'm
because from
talking
this
price wise, like how much we talking? Because again, maybe some
price
people
wise to
can't see the exact
break,
numbers.
I would say for 4600, roughly speaking.
46.
So that's actually already very close to the all-time high. Of course, you can decide, say, okay, Marcus, well, that sounds all nice, but I want more juicy profits and I'll just take that risk. Then I would definitely just suggest you to wait for this movement, this pullback here, the range, and then put a limit order there if you feel confident enough that ETH is going to have that massive impulse and continuation upwards, which is still, technically speaking, a decent move, you know. So that is that for ETH.
I want to know the monthly on ETH, by the way, because I saw somebody post just now over on Twitter that ETH, I think,
Yes.
for the first time has broken. I'm
Let
not
me
sure
just
actually. I didn't fully
hide everything.
I think right now monthly candle perhaps has it broken above or not yet. Can't see it on your chart. Just now. Is it the highest the monthly's ever been or no? I think last month. No, we're getting close towards it though. We're not there.
Well, technically, it's a matter of, I'm using Binance. If you use another one, it can be the opposite. So I don't want to give you guys a false image. But technically speaking, you would be correct with your assessment that this, this month we've actually had, that all-time high that we've been waiting for quite some time. But again, if you're using another provider, it can be a couple of pips, can be 1% less. But roughly speaking, yes, this month was quite crazy indeed. However, if I take everything back, I just want to take the 2 days just to give you guys another outlook, because at the end of the day, I want to be realistic with you guys. And what I want to say is, if we look here, this all-time high on the left, 11 November 21, it's actually one massive resistance right now. And if we look on the 2 day, so the 2 day time frame, let me just remove the highlighter. It's quite annoying. Sorry for that. So this is the range that we're in. And what we're seeing here, we're still reacting to this all-time high resistance zone. And from a textbook kind of perspective, what usually can happen after you are in a very strong resistance zone, that you're going to bounce back to the nearest support. And this support over here is untapped. And that support over here, if you guys can read it well, it's around 3,939. So that would be like the bearish scenario in this case. So the medium time frame, 4 hour, gives us a different outlook compared to the 2 days. So I don't want to hype for you guys and say, oh, yes, we're just going to see bulls, bulls, bulls. Just take this into consideration as well. Just a textbook higher time frame outlook. That's why I say I'm a little bit less enthusiastic when it comes to Ethereum, simply because of this. This looks a bit sketchy to me. And this is what we don't have on Bitcoin and XRP. So take this into consideration. And definitely be cautious when trading ETH. Are there any questions regarding Ethereum? Anyone in the chat?
Somebody says Terminator Dusty. I think maybe Carlson here thinks that that you took over, or I accidentally put on like a robot filter or something and I didn't know. If I did, you're a bit of a guy for not telling me that, you know. The whole time could have been pretty funny. I hope not. But Dave says, why so safe? Why not add a trend line and trade the breakout on the 4 hour instead of waiting for a top break? And then Dave says, it's possible FOMO could take over, but that is a big market cap seeing way higher dream calls. Well, yeah, Dave, I guess, also has a different opinion of me. Man, to be honest, even for me, 5K and ETH is like a nothing burger. I'm not even going to be too excited if it were to happen. If I'm looking at all my positions I've got open right now, for me, even though I understand where you're coming from, so here we have, let's see real quick what I got. I got my ETH trade. It's been running for a while though, so I guess it also makes it makes the whole situation different. It's still about $400,000 if you get open, but it's open at 3,400 ish. Right, so I opened it at roughly 3x leverage, so very low leverage. It's up about $100,000. I actually exited a little bit yesterday, only like a few $1,000s on the top. Somewhere yesterday, just to kind of pay for funding fees on the short term. And because from another angle, it seems like the newer plays, the newer hype is mostly all Solana and all the DATs and whatnot. And right now, I saw some people call out for Chainlink, for SUI and Chainlink. Chainlink, I understand what people are saying that. SUI, I don't really know. I'm not sure exactly what's making SUI so huge. But I see Dave now say ETH will fly. I think over the longer term, ETH will fly, but it's just a question of which coin is quote unquote best on the shorter terms. And I think you now, Marcus, just said XRP on the shorter term is looking as one of the best in comparison to ETH. You just
compared to ETH, I think ETH is like from the cryptos that we analyzed today. I would say it's definitely like my least favorite. My favorite is still XRP with the best outlook. Simply because Wave 5 still needs to be finished when it comes to XRP. And why that $4.62 target, top of my head, is still out there and more clear than other cryptos. But again, they all have potential on the long term. Of course, it's easy for me to say now, yeah, they're all going to go up, but we don't know when. So that is where I come into play and try to explain you guys that where are we heading now for this moment, for this cycle. So yeah, just to sum it up, ETH, less enthusiastic, XRP, much more enthusiastic.
Yeah, fair enough. I see my camera again. Now it's starting to actually get freaking like hot. So I think I overheat. But I think we've covered everything for today. I think yeah, there we go. I think we've covered all the most important things, right? So I think we can
yes,
we can call it a good one. And if there's any more news, I'll probably catch you guys again with that. Marcus, by the way, thank you very much for stopping by and saying hi.
Yes, it was an honor. Thank you very much.
We'll probably see more of you very, very soon. But yeah, thank you so much for stopping by, my brother. But like I was saying, Mark's a very cool guy, by the way. Love him. And we'll definitely see more of him over the next few weeks, especially if you guys want to. But here's the thing. It's also quite hard from my side to realize here how many people here love the trading, how many more people love the news and the fundamental stuff? Like me, for example, if we're talking about my trades right here, like it just makes a lot of sense to think about it from the, like I said before, the treasury angle and the news angle, like what is most hyped up versus the real technical approach. Both of these work in their own respective ways, and it just depends on what people like to see, what I also want to cover here. I see TJ says, jump in the pool again. If XRP does something crazy, that will definitely have to happen. But right now at $3, like 4, it's nice. And I mean, the profit is looking good, especially on the bots right here. The profit has been really, really good, but it's not pool worthy good, right? We'll have to wait a little bit for our XRP trade to do some crazier numbers here. It's nice the bots are just grinding it out, though, absolutely. And I'll say one more time, by the way, if you're looking to join in, you know, you can check out the links down below. For example, Payonix is where I've got all the bots running on, or you can check out 𝗬𝗂𝗃 is right now. You get yourself a pretty nice position for absolutely free. Soon, we'll also be doing some live trading over on Blowfin. I'll talk about it more, though, over the next few days, because I can understand that a lot of people might want to get themselves in on the trades that we do on a daily basis, even some scalps. So perhaps very shortly here, we might also do more live trades in the streams, if that's what you guys are interested in. But in terms of news, I got another video coming out in a bit talking about all the most important news going on. But realize this, as of this point, the market is at a freaking, it's at a point where the hype is crazy, but the market's not really showcasing that hype just quite yet. Retail, funnily enough, has been congratulating on some coins like a Solana is starting to happen, a Hyperliquid is starting to happen. But in reality, since the treasuries are still basically up and coming, we're not at the peak of it just quite yet, I'm still just buying almost every single thing. I'm still just adding to it. Where some have said, oh, well, if the congratulations come, like with Hyperliquid, that's where you sell. I get it. I really, really do. But I still don't think we've reached the peak of this, let's call it movement, of this cycle of anything. So I'm still just adding to all my longs. As you can see, just earlier today, I had another 25,000 XRP, so about $75,000 to my XRP trade right here. I told you I want to get some crazy, juicy positions going here over the next few weeks. And I would really have hoped if that Ethereum would move all the way back down to 3,900. At that point, I would have entered a significantly, my English, an even more significant trade right here. Specifically over on 𝗬𝗃𝗃, I placed some orders already to, you know, get a little bit of ETH going. And unfortunately, we just missed a nice entry, like right around, let's see, a little few days ago. Like we got really, really close to our buy-in, but we just barely did not hit it. Right now, I'm waiting for the prices to come back down, though, on ETH specifically before I'm buying more. But then again, my bots are just always at, like I told you, add another 150 SOL or something like that today. I've been adding more towards the XRP bot. I've been buying everything because, well, rate cut's also going to be next week. A lot of freaking volatility could come off that. It's, let's just say it's an interesting situation that we're in. But yeah, a lot of cool stuff will be coming out over the next few days. I'll be covering it whenever it does happen. ETF news pretty huge. Solana news pretty huge. Dogecoin news pretty huge. I got some more cool stuff coming out later today in some videos, though, so stick around for that. And if you enjoyed the stream, make sure you press that like button. If you want to join some trading platforms, like I said, links are down below for those. And, well, if there's any other coin you'd like covered, just comment them down below, as I'll keep it in the back of my head. You know, they're always, every single comment works. Let's just say it like that. Every single comment is remembered. And that was it for this stream right now. I'm not even sure how to end it, but I'll probably be back very, very soon, especially if the market starts pumping or do something crazy. So, see you guys again, another crypto video somewhere, hopefully later today, but let's see.